Y'all wanted this story, but it's long as fuck. Okay, it is long as fuck. I apologize. So, lock in for a little bit, do some dishes, fold some laundry, do a chore or something, put me on in the background. We can do a little podcast. We can do a little, like I'm on the phone with you or something like that. All right, lock in. All right, this one is going to be about that first time I mentioned where I took 7 tabs. So, this all started at school. Okay, it was the end of May, so we only had like 3 days left of school. It was after normal school hours because we were doing like extra credit classes and shit. So by the time I dropped my first 2 tabs, it was like 4:45. So basically, there's not a lot to explain with the school. I just had a friend who had tabs on him, and one of my other friends was like, "Do you want to try?" I don't know if I can say it. Do you want to try it today? And I was just like, "Sure," because as a kid, which is weird, but as a kid, when I saw like those type of substances, psychs and shit, I was always so interested because I've been into comic books and fantasy and supernatural shit my whole life. So just the thought of like changing my worldview, like physically kind of changing my perception of the world, has always been super interesting to me. And the way it like makes you feel and stuff, all the things I'd heard about that. So I was like, fuck yeah, I want to try that shit. I was homeless at the time. Hell yeah, I wanted to try that shit. I was sad, okay? I needed a fucking break. So I didn't even think twice about it, which, little off tangent really quick. You have to respect those things, okay? Whether it be the natural one or the one that goes on paper or in gel or whatever, okay? I don't want to get too specific. You have to respect that shit. You cannot just, oh, party and then just like drop it like that. No. You have to fucking respect it, dude, or it can fuck you up. I want to make that clear because this story is really good and it makes it sound really fun, which it was. But you can't just like do that shit. You need to mentally prepare for it and shit. I didn't, but I was super, super lucky because again, I was homeless and poor and destitute at the time. So we take him at school. We had kind of skipped class a little bit. We skipped our final classes. So one of the teachers told our principal. So about 5 minutes after I dropped these things, the principal starts riding around on a golf cart looking for us, and he sees us across the fucking parking lot and starts towards us, but he can't go over grass. So we just dead sprint across the fucking football field into the woods. Because if you go through the woods, there's just a back road on the other side. We sprint through the woods, got out, our friend picked us up on that back road, we left. Fast forward, we go to my friend's house. He's got a like basement, that's his room. The entire basement is his room. And it was probably the best place I could have been for my first trip. He had like strip lights all around the place that were like purple and stuff, and purple's my favorite color, so that was already perfect for me. He had a bar in his room. It didn't have like alcohol in it, but it was just a bar with stools that you could sit on and shit, and it was super fucking cool. He had like a bed in there, a couch, TV, PlayStation, boombox, all that shit. So we're just listening to music, everybody's rolling up and shit. It was a pretty good time, but I realized it might be because I'm a big dude. I'm 6'5". At the time, I was like 340 pounds. But at the time, I realized like it's not really doing shit to me. Like all the stuff I've heard from people, all the shit I've seen, that's not happening right now. So I went up to my friend and I was like, "Do you have any more of those?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we all took some. So he was gone. Everybody was more gone than me at this point. So I was a little jealous. I was like, I want to be like that. So I asked him for 2 more. He gave them to me. Okay. He didn't just like, he wasn't just passing them to me and shit. He was like, "Are you sure? Like, do you think you're good?" And shit like that. And I was like, "I'm perfectly fine. I'm damn near sober, dude." So he gave me 2 more. I took them. The like party stuff, there's not a lot that goes on during the party, but I took them. I just kept hanging out. We were just sitting on the stools. Everybody, like, we were just rolling up constantly and shit. It was fun as hell. It was chill as fuck. We were just listening to music, taking turns playing games, playing like fighting games and shit. But again, after like an hour, it wasn't like affecting me that much yet. I wasn't seeing anything. Like colors weren't changing or anything. It was just, and a misconception with a lot of people is you think, like a lot of people think you'll just see stuff. Like you'll just put stuff there that isn't there. That's not really how it works. Like you won't just see a pink unicorn standing in the street. But if you saw like a pink park bench or something, your brain might turn it into something else. But you're not just gonna see something that's not actually there for real. Like I had a friend who saw a trash bag and thought it was like The Grudge. And I saw it too, and she said it was The Grudge. She genuinely started tweaking. I looked at it and I saw The Grudge because she said that, and I was like, Jesus. But in my head I was like, that's not The Grudge. That's not gonna happen. It wouldn't be here. And then it changed back into a bag. So I just wanted to say that because a lot of people have a notion that like you just see stuff and you just start like see like an elf will come out of the woods and start, "Oh, hello." Like, no, that's not gonna happen, bro. I mean, it might when you're like, I don't know, whatever. Everybody's different. All right. Okay, back to the house though. So I'm on 4 at this point, and I will say like on that shit, my body, it always feels like I am a skin suit holding electricity inside. Like I will just be like, but not in like a bad way. I'm not like scared of it or anything. There have been times I've tripped and I've been like, I need to relax. Like I will sit on a couch and just be like, because I'm just like so energetic, it's kind of scaring me. But yeah, at this point, that's really all I was feeling. I was just super happy and energized and shit, but nothing else. So I was just like, I don't feel like this is what it's supposed to be. So I asked my friend if he had any more. He had 5. Yeah, he had 5 more, if I'm remembering correctly. So he was like, I'm probably going to take another one. Do you just want to take 2 more? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, dude, I don't care. So I take the 2, he takes his 1. My other friend that I'm with takes 1 as well. So at this point, my friend that I'm with, I'm gonna call him Tommy. Tommy was on 4. The plug was on 5, I think. And at this point, I have 6. And the plug goes, he's like, I've only got 1 left, dude. Do you just want this one? And I was just like, fuck it. Like, all right, bro. I thought about it. I wasn't stupid about this shit. I was just like, do I? But I really just based it on the fact that I had 4 in me and it wasn't really doing anything yet. So I was just like, I think I can handle it. So I took the 3. So at this point, I'm 7 tabs in, okay? I don't remember being at that house anymore. I don't remember anything about that house. I just remember we like chilled. I started getting like really real giggly. Oh my God. And we left. I just remember getting back to Tommy's house and like having to sneak into his crib because his parents were home. And at this point, it's like 9 p.m. or something. So we had to like walk through these overgrown ass woods to get to his back door so that we could sneak in without his parents like confronting us. And because we looked, oh my God, dude. We were literally like this. It was insane. We could not stop just like this. And every time like a noise happened, every time one of us said something, it was just like, and it was bad. So if an adult was around us, they would know, okay? So we had to sneak around the back of his house through some fucking thick ass vines and shit, go through his gate that creaks. Then we had to walk up his wooden fucking creaky ass stairs. And we were like, and stuff. So we're tweaking out about how fucking like loud everything's being, but at the same time, it was like, this shit brought out my childish wonder, dude, my childish whimsy. It was like when you're a kid and you're like trying not to get caught doing something, but you're just like, and shit. We could not shut the fuck up, dude. So we literally like snuck into the house doing the tiptoe shit, got in the house. Then we realized his parents were just dead asleep, just like on the other end of the house, asleep as fuck. So we started dying laughing because just the fact that we did all of this Sherlock Holmes fucking, not Sherlock Holmes, not Agent 47, Mission Impossible shit. We did all this Mission Impossible shit to get into the fucking house, all stealthy like Batman, for no reason. So we started laughing. This is another thing about trips. Laughing is dangerous, okay? Oh my God, there was one point I thought I was gonna die. I had to actually like lock the fuck in because we started giggling so much. There was a point where I was just like, and I just couldn't fucking stop. I was like hyperventilating and like choking myself on giggles, dude. And my friend was on the floor, like on all fours, just like, and I was just like, all right, because I got control of myself. And I had to like crouch beside him and be like, dude, relax, stop. Like stop. It's not funny anymore. Stop. And so we stopped giggling. It almost got bad there, but we stopped giggling. This part gets muddy because this is when it went like my brain exploded into sparkles, glitter, and rainbows, dude. I was talking about this in the live last night. Somebody said that we probably were having different trips, which makes a lot of sense. We were in different universes, dude. I don't remember what happened with us. I know he had to go to the bathroom. So my friend Tommy goes to the bathroom. I walk over to the couch in the living room and I sit down. When I sit down, that's when everything hit me at once. I look around. There are 3 lamps in the living room. All of them, the lampshades are going like how a jellyfish moves, like all of the lampshades are doing that. He had a coffee table with wood grain in it. The wood was like moving like water, so it just looked like rivers all throughout the table. The ceiling had like that fucking sharp speckled bullshit on it, but it just looked like snow. It was like shifting snow on the ceiling. It was one of the most visually interesting and beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, okay? Shit was like, I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. Like, imagine a jellyfish moving, but imagine 3 more jellyfish overlaid on top of the one moving. So it's like when it goes, there's like 3 after images of that happening at the same time. It was beautiful. And then, Tommy, he had a dog named Ben. Ben hated me. Literally tried to attack me all the time. He was this little fat fuck. Tried to attack me all of the time. Barked every time I got near him. Never got near me once. I never even pet him. Every time I've done these substances, I am really good with animals. We have a different type of connection. Ben got up out of his bed, walked across the room, and stood up on the couch, like looking at me to be like picked up. So I picked him up and put him on my lap, and he just sat down. He just loafed up on my lap. And I was like, what the fuck? Because he never does that shit. I might have to make a part 2. So he loafs up. He just starts staring at me. He has all black eyes. His fur is all black. He's staring up at me. I'm staring down at him. Then, in the middle of his torso, I see his hair like ruffles a little bit. It goes like, and then it just goes, and just a hole opens up in his torso. It's just his torso, and then just a hole like this big that's just pitch black. And I can see the fur going like down the hole. Like it looks like if I reached in, I could like scratch his fur on the sides. It was fucking crazy. So I'm looking into this hole, and I was just staring into it, and I got locked into a fucking trance. I was just like, and then I don't know how much time went past, but I started hearing my friend being like, TJ, where are you, TJ? And shit, and I was just like, what what the fuck? But I didn't look up yet. I was still just like, it was genuinely like, when you look at the abyss looks back. That shit happened to me. And my friend is yelling for me. Again, he went to the bathroom on the same floor as me, right? I'm looking at this dog's abyssal well, okay? And my friend just goes like, TJ, and I look up. He's downstairs now, and his head is poking up like this over the staircase, like over the railing, and he's like, TJ. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he comes up all the way up the stairs, and he's like, where have you been? I've been looking for you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've been right here. Like, if he came out of the bathroom, he would have had to have seen me before he went downstairs. And he was like, I've been looking for you for so long. And I was like, I have not moved. Like, I've been here the whole time. And he was just like, no, you weren't. And I was like, yes, I was. And we just went back and forth, and he was like, he was like strung out. He was like, I've been looking for you. Where have you been? Like, he was just by himself this whole time, tweaking, I guess. And, yeah, I was just locked in, staring at the dog's fucking void, dude. That shit was insane. I don't remember anything from that. I don't remember shit. I was just staring at the fucking dog's stomach, and I was locked up. If you got to this point, thank you so much for watching this far. But, okay, so basically, after the dog incident, I was like, all right, I want to go outside. Like, something about being in the house was weirding me out now, because I was just like, I don't know where I just went. He was looking for me and didn't see me. No, thank you. I don't like that. So I was just like, let's go outside. Also, there was just nothing to do in the house. So we snuck back outside. Had to go through the fucking woods again, creep down the steps, all that shit. We got outside, and I felt so claustrophobic when I had to walk through those woods. So when we finally, like, broke out, I, like, ran to the front yard, and I was just like, and air had never felt so good, dude. Oh, my God. Air never felt so good. It felt so clean and right to inhale, like, fresh outside air. And I looked up at the sky. When I looked up, it looked exactly like if you looked up galaxy wallpaper. That's what I saw, except it was purple. That's probably because purple is my favorite color, so, like, I made it purple or something. But I genuinely saw, like, nebula gas, like, shooting stars, bands of, like, rings of stars and shit around the fucking sky. It was insane. And again, I was on 7, my friend was on 4. And he was a bigger dude than me. I was like 340 pounds. This guy was like 400 pounds. So it was probably affecting him way less than it was affecting me. I don't even know if weight comes into play there. Whatever. He looked up and he wasn't seeing the same shit. He did see like some crazy, like it was crazy visuals, but it wasn't like as detailed and as bright and in tune as mine was. Like the world was brighter. The world was like there was like a cosmic glow on everything. It was insane. And that like hyped me up. I don't know. That shit, seeing that shit, I just started giggling. I just started laughing. I felt so like free. And like the thing about this shit, I felt like I have arthritis. My knees were fractured. I have chronic headaches. I'm autistic. I've got anxiety. I've got depression. All of that shit was gone. I didn't even remember that I was a person with problems anymore. I was literally just like a spirit of happiness inhabiting a body. And so in that moment, I just remember laughing, and then I just took off from my friend. I just sprinted off. And I have never run so fast in my life. Never once. I ran like 3 miles down the road so goddamn quickly. Because while I was running, I started to hear, I didn't look down at my legs, but I started to hear. I'll recreate it. I'm running and I'm hearing. So in my head, I was like, I have steampunk exosuit legs. I've got cybernetic steampunk implants, okay? So I can run at super speed. And I believed it. I don't know why. I was just like, and in my head, I just like imagined pistons in my legs. And every time I like pushed, they're like blowing off steam. And because of that, I fucking dug in, bro. I ran so goddamn fast, dude. My homie's behind me, running down the street like, wait, no! And I'm just like, and so I just keep fucking running. At a certain point, I finally stopped. I wasn't even out of breath. I was just laughing. I just like stood there and I was just like, and then I looked around and I was like, because I realized I was at a 4-way intersection in the middle of the road at like 2 or 3 in the morning, laughing like a fucking hyena. Literally on some All Might shit, running down the fucking and shit. And yeah, I started looking around and I was like, there's a window, there's a window, there's a window. And I just started being like, fuck, I am not in my own universe. There are people here. There's other people around. And that shit fucked me, dude. It almost made my trip a bad one. It felt like the world was closing in around me or something. Because while I was running and shit, I felt like I was in my own bubble. You know how it looks when people use that like selfie stick where it makes it look like they're walking on a planet and everything around them is like on a ball? That's what I felt like when I was running, okay? And it was awesome. But then I started tweaking a little bit. And my friend finally starts catching up with me and he's like, oh. And he gets close to me, he's like, why did you run? Why did you run? And he's just like freaking out. And I was just like, I don't know, but I want to get back home. And he was like, what? And then I just took off again. And he was just like, wait! And I just fucking left him there. I just sprinted the fuck off. So I ran, got back to the house. I just remember, at this point, I don't remember much. I'm leaving it in. I don't remember much from this point. There were multiple times throughout that night, probably because I took the tabs at different intervals. There were multiple times it hit me like a fucking Moab. Like a missile went, boom, and I was like, oh! That's how it felt, but in a good way. Because I would be like peaking, and I'd be like, okay, this is like as far as it'll go. This is the peak. And then it would be like, boom, and I'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And new shit would happen. I'd be getting new feelings, new thoughts and shit. Thoughts transmitted from spaceships into my head. It was insane. But I remember we got back to his crib, and I just laid down on the lawn. I just laid down in the grass. I don't remember like shit else until sunrise. I just know that I was laying there the whole time. But okay, I don't remember anything that isn't true. I experienced what I think is an ego death. Before this trip, I was a very spiteful person. I was very angry. I was abused as a child. So I had a lot of pent up resentment, a lot of trauma to unpack, a lot of just anger and shit towards people that didn't deserve it. So during this trip, when I was laying on the lawn, I was trapped in my own head, but not in a bad way. I was just like locked in my head. It's like if I took my like astral projected and then flew into my head is how it felt. In my head, I wasn't myself, my normal self. I was like my true self in my brain. And I was controlled, like I was doing this like a slideshow. There was a giant film reel with slides of moments from my life. And I was just scrolling through them, watching how I acted during certain things, watching how I treated certain people. And I was fucking disgusted, okay? I just didn't like who I was. I just wasn't who I thought I was. And so seeing all that, I was just like, ew, like what the fuck? So that changed my life, genuinely changed my life for the better. And after that happened, like after that whole introspective fucking journey happened, I remember, like my memory comes back to me when the sun started to rise. When the sun broke in the sky and like the orange showed up and shit, dude, the world turned into Adventure Time, okay? Everything got so vibrant and colorful and cartoonishly alive. I started seeing fractals, like grass looked like it was growing constantly, but like how the lamps looked, how I described that. Imagine a flower, you know how flower bloom time lapse looks, where like you see the petals like, and you see them blossom and like rotate and shit? It looked like that was happening every like nanosecond. So I'm seeing the flower not moving, but at the same time, I was like watching a time lapse of its life or something. And that was happening with every plant around me. They all looked like they were just growing and like breathing and alive. And that sounds kind of like overwhelming, but it wasn't scary at all. And yeah, everything like, the plants started to look like crystals because they were like fractals and like there's so many patterns and triangles and shit. It started to look crystallized. So it was like that episode of Adventure Time where they go to like the crystal dimension or something. It was like that, but real life. And it was it was like the most beautiful thing I've fucking ever seen, damn near, dude. But yeah, that's really the end of my trip story. This was long as fuck. I'm so sorry. But that was the first time I ever did 7 tabs, and I'm so lucky it went well. I'm so fucking lucky it went well. And that is why, even though I got stuck in a demonic time loop, I don't regret like doing that shit. And I would again if I was in a proper headspace, but I haven't been recently. So I haven't done it in like 2 years. But yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. That shit was absolutely crazy. And also, this isn't me trying to indoctrinate people to do it, okay? Make your own decisions, all right? Thank you guys for being here. I love you. Goodbye.